It began with the invention of the electric telephone, patented by Alexander Graham Bell in 1876. After spilling some acid in his laboratory, he unknowingly called to his assistant for help.
Mr. Watson, come here, I want you.
Using his telephone. This ushered in the era of telecommunications. A few months later, Thomas Alva Edison, an inventor working in Menlo Park, New Jersey, invented the carbon button transmitter, a device that improved the range of the phone significantly and made widespread use of the phone possible. As the years passed, the telephone became more convenient and easier to use, and its support systems were continually improved. The latest step in that evolution is the cellular phone.
Hello? Yes, I hear you just fine. You hear me okay? I know, Tom. I just talked to Alexander and he thinks this business of cellular phones is just fantastic. All right then. I'll let you get back to your work. Take care.
Who's that on the phone?
Tom Edison.
Yeah, sure it was. Come on, let's put it in a phone.
It really was.
In this program, we'll discuss the 1995 Buick Cellular Phone System features and components, installation, and programming. So, let's begin with system features and components. The Buick Cellular Phone System has a number of great features, including hands-free operation, automatic answering, and portability, so you can take the phone wherever you'd like to go. Now, maybe the most annoying part of owning a cellular phone is losing your connection to the person on the other end of the line.
Hello? Hello? I can't hear you.
This is due to two things: being out of range of your carrier's cell and transmitting power, or more precisely, the lack of it. In early 1995, Buick will be offering a cellular phone system with a full 3 watts of power. This will help keep you connected for longer periods of time.
If we go out to the mall, I still have to get some shopping done.
It has other great features too, like a standard battery pack that when fully charged will provide 100 minutes of continuous use or 18 hours on standby. Charging is easy. The phone is continuously trickle charged when it's in its docking station and the ignition is on. And a home charging station is included as well. It also has the added benefits of being hardwired to the vehicle and is concealed in the armrest or console from would-be thieves, unlike the vast majority of aftermarket phones. Further increasing your dealership's profit margin is the commission it will receive when you activate the phone service for the customer. These vary according to market area, depending upon the phone carrier. However, there are situations when your dealership wouldn't receive an activation commission, and the dealership's pricing structure should reflect this. For more information on these and other subjects relative to cellular phone ordering, enrollment, and activation, refer to the Service Consultant's Reference Book supplied with this program. Now, another great selling feature of this phone is that it's covered under the Buick bumper-to-bumper new vehicle warranty. That's some advantage. Now, to activate this phone, your dealership will need to enroll in the GM Cellular Phone program. To do this, the selected person in your dealership will need to call the order department of Delco Electronics at 1-800-428-0501. When the receptionist answers, they should say,
"Yes, this is Tom O'Brien from Clarkston Buick. I'd like to enroll my dealership in the GM Cellular Phone program. Please fax me an enrollment form." And please have my local cellular phone representative contact me with information on program availability, commission rates, and training.
When they receive the form, they'll need to fill it out completely and fax it back to 317-451-8493. The carrier representative for your area will contact the dealership to set up a cellular training session, so you're ready for your cellular phone customers. It's that simple. Features, price, safety. This cellular phone system has it all, and ordering is as close as your parts department. In addition to the phone kit will contain 12 basic components, including the Y harness, handset control harness, Trickle charger harness, phone harness, antenna, home charging station, 3-watt booster, microphone, external speaker, interface box, docking station, and phone bracket. It also includes all the wiring and hardware necessary to complete the installation. Although this sounds like a lot of pieces, installing them is straightforward. So let's move on to installation. Phone location in the vehicle is dependent upon vehicle application. In Riviera models, the phone is positioned in the armrest or console. On Park Avenue Ultra, Roadmaster, and LeSabre models, the phone is tucked away inside the fold-down center armrest. Now, before you jump to the conclusion that installation of this 3-watt phone system is just like that of the 0.6 of a watt system previously offered for Riviera, think again. The wiring and layout of the system components is significantly different, so you'll need to pay close attention. In order for you to get the lowdown on how this phone's installed, we went right to the source. Stan Troy, Program Manager for Cellular Phones at Delco Electronics. Hi, Stan.
Hi, Chuck.
Since Stan's already taught me the installation process, I'll describe it as he does the work. So this will be a test for me as well.
Thanks, Chuck. To begin, I'll go through the installation procedure for the Riviera equipped with a console. Then Chuck will describe the differences if you're installing the phone in the center armrest.
Thanks, Stan. Before you begin installing the system, there are two things you need to do, and they center around phone programming. First, you need to have the designated person in your dealership obtain the phone programming information outlined in the technician's reference book now, as it takes some time to get it, and you'll need it to program the phone when the installation is complete. Second, begin charging the phone battery, because a charged battery is required for programming. With those tasks completed, prepare the vehicle for phone installation by removing the sill plate from the driver's side of the vehicle, removing the screws that support the trailing edge of the hush panel under the steering column, removing the rear seat cushion, and removing the trim from behind the rear seat. Begin by installing and routing the various harnesses. If the vehicle is equipped with a console, remove the trim surround if fitted with one. Then, pull the clip out of the base of the shifter knob and remove the knob. Next, remove the screws that secure the console top trim plate. Then, carefully lift the trim plate, disengage the two illumination lights from the prindle, and take the trim plate off the console. Use the Y harness to tap into the switched ignition and ground feeds at the console. If the vehicle you're working on doesn't have these in the console, you'll need to find a switched ignition power source and a good clean ground elsewhere in the vehicle to power the phone. Locate the slit in the carpeting and route the Y harness under the carpeting to the rear seat area. Installation of the handset control harness is next. Since this harness, along with the trickle charger harness, needs to be routed into the console, remove the access panel at the bottom of the console bin and loosen but don't remove the nuts securing the rear of the console. Before routing the harness, tape the tang on the small harness connector to prevent it from breaking. Now, slip it through the access hole in the bin and underneath the bottom edge of the console. Then, thread it under the seat track, through the slit in the carpeting, and underneath the carpeting to the back seat. As with all the cables, make sure you don't kink or knot them during the routing process, and be sure to leave about 15 inches of cable in the bin so you can move the docking station after you connect it. Route the trickle charger harness connector using the same procedure you used to route the handset control harness. Next, install the phone harness by slipping the 25-pin connector behind the rear seat into the trunk. With the phone harness, Y harness, and trickle charger harness together under the rear seat, crimp and solder the wires as outlined in the technician's guide. Then seal the connection with heat shrink tubing. Before mounting the antenna, clean both the inside and outside of the backlight where the antenna will be mounted with the alcohol pad supplied in the installation kit. Position the exterior mounting pad where the backlight is free of defroster wires and press it firmly into place. Then match the interior antenna base pad to the exterior pad exactly and press it into place. Now screw the coaxial cable to the base pad. Then hide the cable underneath the headliner and C-pillar trim. Finish by routing the cable behind the rear seat into the trunk. Booster installation is next. After finding a suitable mounting point out of harm's way in the trunk, apply the supplied Velcro tape to the ribbed side of the booster.
No, Chuck, you want to apply the tape to the non-ribbed side.
That's right, I stand corrected. Apply the Velcro to the non-ribbed side of the booster and apply the date of purchase label to the ribbed side. Now connect the phone harness, handset control harness, and antenna cable to their respective ports on the booster and mount the booster to the vehicle. Now install the microphone by clipping it to the headliner between the rearview mirror and the sun visor. Then route the microphone wire underneath the headliner, A-pillar, instrument panel, and door sill plate to the rear seat area and connect it to the phone harness. Now if you're mounting the external speaker to the console, remove its retaining bracket and trial fit the speaker to the interior of the console at its front. When you know where you want it positioned, apply the Velcro tape to its side. And place it inside the console with the speaker pointing toward the front of the car. Route the speaker wire over the hush panel, down the door aperture trim, and underneath the door sill plate. Complete this operation by connecting the speaker wire to the phone harness. The last step in the process is the mounting of the phone bracket. Begin by positioning the phone bracket mounting template in the bottom of the console bin, so the word rear is at the back of the bin. Then drill the bracket mounting holes. After drilling the holes, remove the template and assemble the docking station, interface box, and phone mounting bracket together using the provided hardware. Make sure the battery contacts in the docking station are toward the bottom of the mounting bracket, and the pigtail on the interface box points out toward the top. Now tighten the console retaining nuts and connect the Trickle charger harness to the docking station and the handset control harness to the interface box. Then clip the coil cord to the interface box. Finish the installation by routing the Trickle charger and handset control harnesses to the side of the mounting bracket. Then securing the bracket to the bin with the supplied screws. And connect the coil cord to the phone. When you've finished, test the phone to make sure it operates. Do this by pressing the power button and watching the phone. The keypad and display should light up if the connections are good and the battery is in serviceable condition. If not, check for and correct the problem, such as a faulty inline fuse on the Trickle charger harness. Before installing the console trim plate, shift knob, trim surround, and seat and trim.
Chuck, now that I've shown how to do a phone installation into a vehicle with a console, why don't you show us how to do one with an armrest?
Okay. Now, installing the phone in an armrest is quite similar to installing a phone in a console, but with a few different twists. Begin by lifting the coin holder out and flipping the cup holder out to give you some working room. Then position the tray in the armrest against the driver's side and note where the bottom of the tray contacts the armrest. Place a Velcro strip in the armrest at each point and press it down firmly to keep it in position. After mounting the interface box as outlined in the reference book, route the interface box and Trickle charger harnesses through the holes at the rear of the armrest. Leave about 15 inches of each harness to work with. Next, drape the Trickle charger harness through the access hole in the tray, as well as the end of the coil cord. Then, take the docking station and mount it to the tray using the supplied screws and nuts. Now connect the Trickle charger harness to the station and clip the coil cord into the junction box. Also, connect the interface cable to the box and press the box against the Velcro dot on the tray. Continue by placing the tray in the armrest and pulling the slack out of the wires. Be sure they won't get caught in the hinge. After pressing the anti-rattle foam into position, finish the job by clipping the coil cord to the phone and slipping the phone into the station. With installation of the console or armrest-mounted phone complete, you can begin programming. Programming of the phone after installation is required in order for it to work properly, but you can't program it unless the phone battery is charged. You'll also need information from the designated cellular phone person in your dealership, including the customer's cellular phone number, carrier system ID number, and the carrier group ID number. When you have this information, press the power button to turn the unit on. Then press the function button, followed by 13 zeros. Don't worry if you don't see any zeros in the display, because that's normal. And press recall. Next, enter the carrier system ID number by pressing the star button. Then entering the 5-digit ID number. Now, enter the customer's area code by pressing the star button twice. The number 111 will appear in the display. Then, enter the 3-digit area code. To enter the customer's phone number, press the star button twice, and the number 1110111 will appear. At this point, enter the phone number. And finally, enter the carrier group ID number by pressing the star button 6 times. After the 00 display, enter the group ID number. Complete the programming by pressing the star button until 01 shows in the display. Verify your programming by following the exact same procedure you used to program it. At the end of each step, check the accuracy of the numbers that you input. When everything's okay and the display reads 07, press Send. Finish the job by dialing star 611. The call is free and will put you in touch with your local carrier so you can double-check your programming. And that completes our presentation on the Buick Cellular Phone System. In this segment, we've covered system features and components, installation and programming. You know, Stan, speaking of phone conversations, it's been theorized that voices from the past never really fade away. They just float into another dimension in space.
Oh, come on now. You really don't believe that, do you? Hello?
Hello, Stan. I've been wanting to pick your brain about this cellular phone business.
Certainly, but who's this?
Tom.
Tom who?
Why, Tom Edison. Who'd you think it was? David Dunbar Buick?
It's Tom Edison.
Tom Edison. See you in a future know-how. Tom Edison.